Have you ever wondered what it feels like to crave a life you're not supposed to want? The faint scent of lavender always caught me off guard. It drifted up from the rooftop garden 2 floors above mine, wrapping my small balcony in a quiet, almost intoxicating sweetness. Clara and Ethan, the picture-perfect couple. Their laughter echoed across the urban complex, a bright, melodic contrast to the muted hum of my own life. I'm Lydia. My marriage had settled into a steady, predictable rhythm, a comforting warmth that lacked the spark I saw flickering between them. At first it was subtle. Ethan's glance as he tended his potted succulents lingered just a second too long. Clara's smile seemed just a touch too knowing when she waved hello. I brushed it off. Surely I was reading too much into neighborly politeness. Then came that evening. I'd decided to take a long, hot shower after a particularly draining day. Steam curled around me, fogging the mirror and softening the edges of my thoughts. That's when I sensed him, Ethan, outside my window, still silent, framed against the glowing city lights. My heart raced, a frantic rhythm in my chest. Fear mingled with an electric thrill I couldn't deny. He didn't speak. He didn't move. Just watched. And in that silent moment, something in me shifted. The next days became a tense dance. Every time Ethan's car pulled into the lot, my pulse quickened. Every time Clara's voice floated over the railings, a knot of anxiety tightened in my stomach. And yet, I found myself drawn to the window, imagining him there, waiting. One night, emboldened by some reckless mix of curiosity and desire, I stepped into the shower fully aware that he might be watching. Steam and warm water cloaked me, my hands tracing the curves of my body, each movement a silent, daring invitation. I caught his gaze in the reflection of the fogged-up glass. Dark, intense, restrained. We didn't speak. We didn't need to. From that moment, everything shifted. Every glance across the rooftop became charged. Every casual encounter a silent conversation heavy with unspoken understanding. Clara remained blissfully unaware. Her trust in both of us a sharp contrast to the storm brewing beneath the surface. And when we finally touched, Ethan and I, the city around us disappeared. Every careful restraint, every silent yearning, every stolen moment led to an inevitable collision of desire. Yet even in the throes of passion, guilt laced every embrace. Clara's trust, my husband David's quiet love, it lingered in the edges of my mind. A whisper I couldn't silence. Our affair thrived in the shadows, fueled by stolen afternoons, quiet nights, and the intoxicating pull of forbidden desire. The lavender on the rooftop became a reminder of everything sweet and dangerous, a scent entwined with the heat and thrill of the secret we shared. Even as I surrendered to it, a question haunted me. What would remain when the fire inevitably burned itself out? Days passed like a quiet storm. Every encounter with Ethan became a subtle game of glances and unspoken messages. Across the rooftop, his eyes would find mine for just a heartbeat longer than normal. Each time, my chest tightened and a thrill ran through me I couldn't quite name. Clara remained blissfully unaware, laughing and chatting as if the world was perfect, her trust making every glance with Ethan feel even more forbidden. One evening, Clara invited me up to the rooftop for coffee. The city lights glittered below us, and the lavender from the garden swirled in the cool night air. We sipped our drinks and talked about flowers, neighbors, and trivial things, but Ethan hovered at the edge of my awareness. His presence was magnetic. When Clara stepped inside to grab another cup, Ethan's quiet energy became undeniable. He leaned just a fraction closer, his gaze locking onto mine. The air felt charged. No words were needed. The tension spoke for itself. My pulse raced as I felt the intensity of a desire neither of us could fully express. A silent connection in the shadows of the rooftop. Later, alone in my apartment, I found myself standing by the window, staring at the rooftop. I imagined Ethan tending his plants, the same way he always seemed to notice me. My thoughts were a mix of longing and guilt, the line between right and forbidden blurred. Every small memory of our stolen glances sparked a warmth that was both thrilling and dangerous. From that night onward, our interactions grew bolder, but always in ways that could be read as normal or coincidental by anyone else. A brush of hands while passing, a shared smile over a private joke, a fleeting touch on the shoulder. Each gesture was loaded with meaning for us alone. Even in the quietest moments, I felt alive in a way my everyday life never allowed. And yet Clara's trust and my own conscience were constant reminders of the stakes. Every glance, every small touch was a delicate balancing act, an unspoken game we couldn't afford to lose. The lavender in the garden became a symbol of everything we couldn't say aloud. It was sweet, intoxicating, and a little dangerous, the perfect reflection of the secret world Ethan and I were weaving above the city lights. And still, the question lingered in my mind: how long could we keep this spark alive before reality caught up with us? The days blurred into a rhythm of stolen moments. Every time I spotted Ethan on the rooftop, my heart skipped. We never spoke about what we felt, and yet our connection was undeniable. A subtle brush of hands while adjusting a plant, a shared smile over a joke only we understood, a lingering look across the railing. Each small gesture felt loaded with electricity. One afternoon, I found myself watering my own balcony plants, pretending to focus on the task while stealing glances at him. Ethan was crouched among the lavender pots, his attention on the delicate blooms, but I knew he felt it too. When our eyes met, the world seemed to narrow down to just the two of us. My breath caught, a quiet pulse of excitement that I tried to hide behind casual movements. Later that evening, the city lights sparkling below, Ethan leaned slightly closer during a casual rooftop conversation, his voice low and steady. "You've got a real touch with plants," he murmured, his tone carrying an unspoken weight. I smiled, a little flustered, feeling a rush of warmth spread through me. Every word, every glance, every silence between us was a delicate dance, teasing and full of meaning. Clara remained blissfully unaware, chatting cheerfully nearby, her presence a reminder of the thin line we were walking. Each encounter left me both thrilled and anxious. My ordinary life with David felt even quieter in comparison, and yet I couldn't deny the excitement that surged whenever Ethan's gaze found mine. That night, I stood at my window, staring at the rooftop garden. The lavender swayed gently in the breeze, carrying the faint scent that had become a secret signal between us. I imagined Ethan tending his plants, the same way he always seemed to notice me, even in silence. I felt a pull I couldn't ignore, a combination of longing, excitement, and the thrill of the forbidden. We had found a rhythm, a secret world built of small touches, quiet smiles, and the weight of unspoken desire. And though the tension grew with each encounter, so did the thrill, the intoxicating knowledge that no one else knew, that we were dancing on the edge of something powerful and dangerous. Even as I relished it, I knew this couldn't last forever. The question lingered: how long before the delicate balance we'd struck was shattered, and what would be left when it did? The rooftop had become our silent stage. Every glance, every small gesture carried a hidden meaning. By now, Ethan and I had mastered the art of subtlety. A brush of hands, a shared laugh, a fleeting touch on the railing, each one was enough to make my pulse race. One late evening, Clara had gone out for a friend's dinner, leaving Ethan and me alone on the rooftop. The city lights shimmered below, casting long shadows around the lavender pots. The air was cool, tinged with the scent of the flowers, and it felt as if the world had shrunk to just the two of us. "I never realized how peaceful it can be up here," I said, trying to sound casual, though my heart pounded. Ethan's gaze lingered on me, and for a moment words weren't necessary. The intensity in his eyes, the subtle tension in the space between us spoke volumes. We moved closer, but carefully, almost testing the boundaries, making sure our secret world stayed intact. Our hands brushed as we reached for the same pot of lavender. The small contact sent a shiver through me, a silent acknowledgement of the unspoken feelings we had been harboring. I looked up at him and he met my gaze without a word. Every inch of space between us was electric, loaded with anticipation, yet restrained by the ever-present awareness of Clara's trust. Later, back in my apartment, I found myself replaying every moment. Each glance, each subtle touch lingered in my mind. I realized our connection wasn't just physical. It was a bond built in secrecy, in the thrill of stolen moments and shared glances that no one else understood. Even as I savored it, a flicker of worry lingered. How long could we continue this delicate dance? Every interaction was a risk, every fleeting touch a dangerous temptation. And yet I couldn't stop myself from seeking it out again and again, drawn by the thrill, the intensity, and the forbidden closeness we shared. The lavender scent outside my window reminded me of every glance, every heartbeat, every secret we had kept between us. And I knew, deep down, that this quiet storm, this dangerous game of desire, was far from over. Days turned into weeks, and our rooftop exchanges grew more daring, yet carefully measured. Every brush of hands, every shared smile, every lingering glance was like a secret code only Ethan and I could understand. The thrill of the forbidden pulsed in the background of every ordinary moment. One evening, the city lights below sparkled like a mirror of the lavender pots around us. Clara was away visiting a friend, leaving the rooftop hours for a few stolen hours. Ethan leaned slightly closer as we adjusted a hanging planter together, his hand brushing mine just long enough to send a shiver through me. I caught his gaze and held it, letting the silence between us speak the words neither of us dared say. "You always notice the little things," he murmured, his voice low, almost a whisper over the gentle night breeze. I smiled, my pulse racing. "And you always make them feel important," I replied, careful to keep my tone light, though my heart pounded with anticipation. The air between us was electric. For a moment, it felt as if time had slowed. The world below, the apartments across the complex, everything else faded. The connection we'd been building in small gestures, secret glances, and shared laughter reached a peak that didn't need words. Later, back in my apartment, I stood by the window, looking toward the rooftop. The lavender swayed gently in the night breeze, its scent carrying the memory of every glance, every brush of hands, every unspoken desire. I knew that what we shared, our connection, the thrill, the closeness, was something I would always remember. Even if reality eventually pulled us apart, the tension, the excitement, and the forbidden nature of our bond had transformed my quiet life. I felt alive in a way I hadn't in years, aware of every heartbeat, every whisper of wind, every subtle glance. And though the future remained uncertain, and the risk of discovery always hovered at the edge of my mind, I embraced the secret world we had created, a world that existed in the quiet spaces, the stolen moments, and the scent of lavender under the city lights. Even as I closed my eyes that night, I couldn't help but wonder, how long could a secret this sweet, this dangerous, continue before it changed everything? How long can a secret this thrilling last before it changes everything? Ja, fierce, slightly reflective version. I couldn't help but wonder, what would happen when the thrill of the forbidden finally ran its course?